Yes, guys, welcome back to Breaking Into Banking, the podcast where we dive into the technicals you need for your investment banking interviews. This is our first proper episode. Last week, we did talk about who we are. We did sort of an intro. And as always, you're listening to your favorite co-hosts, Matthew
and Jacob. Now, before we jump into the actual technicals, we thought we were going to spend a few episodes on the investment banking industry as a whole, as well as going over the non-technical questions you will come across when you're interviewing.
Yeah, so today we decided before we do anything, even any sort of behavioral questions, we are going to talk about the structure of the bank itself. And investment bank to be more specific. So yeah, let's get right into it. So your typical investment bank will split into three main categories: your front office, middle office, and back office.
So front office generally means that the position is revenue generating. Middle and back office are more things like risk and operations, but we'll talk about that more in a bit. So front office, a lot of people call it the promised land. Why? Well, because it's the most prestigious and the best paid. But what does it actually consist of? What are the roles that you can get in the front office? So the front office essentially breaks down into the investment banking division, often abbreviated to IBD or sometimes referred to as corporate finance. Essentially, they advise clients on mergers and acquisitions, IPOs, the first time a stock is offered to the public, debt equity issuances, and other sort of strategic transactions to help companies, corporate clients achieve their goals. But more on that on the next episode. Now, teams within the IBD can include M&A advisory, so sort of corporate finance, equity capital markets, debt capital markets, and industry coverage covering, a specific sector such as healthcare, TMT, tech, media, telecoms, or industrials. And essentially, your day to day, the output of your work in this division will look like pitch books, valuation models, and execution based tasks. Now, the markets division is another really key part of the front office and is the sort of hustle and bustle trading desk that you think of. So essentially, they facilitate the buying and selling of securities for clients and the bank itself. Um, there's subdivisions within this sort of sales and trading arm. So sales, building client relationships, and essentially offering investment ideas to buy side clients. There's trading, which executes trades in stocks, bonds, derivatives, etc., for the bank's behalf. And there's structuring, which essentially is the design of complex financial products, i.e., derivatives, fixed income, things like that. And then finally, you have research, which is analyzing sort of things like public equities, providing market insights and stock recommendations. So your buy, hold, sell recommendations that you might have heard of. And finally, there's the asset management or wealth management arm. So asset management, these are two very distinct arms, by the way. Then don't get them confused because that's very easy to do. So asset management essentially manages money for institutions and on behalf of sort of high net worth clients via mutual funds, pension funds, etc. Whereas wealth management actually offers personal sort of financial advice and investment solutions to those directly to those high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals. And Matchit, do you want to just talk about the middle office briefly?
Yeah, definitely. So jumping straight into the middle office. Now, the middle office is not quite front office, it's not back office either, obviously. It is sort of a place where a lot of people start their careers and then try to make their way into the front office. And what it consists of is, first of all, risk management. That looks at sort of things like, it monitors the market, the credit and operational risk of the firm as a whole, of some divisions in particular. Now, some divisions will have sort of risk managers of their own, but there is also a risk management division for the entire bank. There is treasury as well. That basically manages the firm's liquidity, funding, and capital structure. You have compliance in the middle office that just ensures sort of adherence to regulations, any requirements and internal policies. Obviously, news are coming out every sort of day, maybe not every day, but like new regulations are coming out sort of regularly. So compliance will have to stay on top of that, ensure that the bank is not breaking any sort of rules. And then lastly, you have your corporate strategy and internal consulting. That division basically just looks at how the bank's strategic direction is going and helps them optimize their internal processes. That's your middle office for you, basically, in a nutshell. Yeah. And lastly, we've got the back office, but I'll let Jacob talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so your back office is sort of quite broad. It's your operations and technology arm, so ensuring everything works behind the scenes. So operations, obviously a very sort of broad umbrella term, and it's essentially in cases trade settlements, clearings, and sort of record keeping within a bank, and ensures all transactions are executed and recorded correctly. And moving on to tech or the IT division, they essentially develop and maintain the systems for trading, data analysis, and compliance, and they're essentially sort of the bedrock of a bank, and they're actually a really, really important division, and especially due to the rise of sort of algorithmic trading and data analytics, sort of this very, very quantitative processes are really, really reliant on those IT systems. And then you've got your finance or accounting arm, which, as you'd expect, sort of manages financial reporting, financial control, analysis, and supports sort of budgetary decisions, forecasting, and regulatory filings. And finally, corporate functions. Now, this is again quite a broad umbrella term, but in a nutshell, in cases legal, so contracts, litigation, legal specific risk, human resources or HR, which, as you'd imagine, is sort of the recruitment, training, and people management arm. And finally, marketing communications. So that's your brand management, your PR, your media relations, and internal comms people. And essentially, that is your structure of an investment bank. Thank you for tuning in. And make sure to keep an eye out for the next episode where we're going to discuss what the investment banking division, where I'm sure most people listening to this podcast want to end up next summer. We're going to discuss that in a bit more depth.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll talk about that in the next episode. For now, if we missed anything, do make sure to let us know. Always looking to hear your feedback. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.